Hello everybody, this is David Blair, the Crosshairs Trader. I'm going to talk for a few minutes here on the boring railroads that I discussed back in the middle of October. And the reason I say they're boring is because they're not flashy like Apple and Google, and they're not talked about. But the last time I checked, boring money is just as good as flashy money. And in the stock market, we're not about trading to be right. We're about trading to make money. And that's what it's all about, no matter if it's railroads or oil stocks or technology stocks, whatever the case may be. So if you would, let's take a look for a few minutes. If you would, take a look with me at what's going on in the railroads post-October, mid-October, when I began discussing them. First of all, let's look at the IYT, which is Transportation Average Fund. Again, back in the middle of October, we discussed how this fund was getting ready to break out, and we needed it to do so along with the railroads to have a good trade, and the general market for that matter. If you look at the general market, it's done this just like it did back here in the spring, and it's been doing it now here in the fall. So we've had the strength of the general market going with us, the strength of the IYT, Transportation ETF, and now let's take a look at a few of these stocks we discussed. NSC gave us what I call an itch, and if you're a crosshairs trader, you understand this. If you do not, and you're interested in learning about all of this stuff, just let me know, david@crosshairstrader.com. Again, you knew I had to send that in there. We do have a university, Crosshairs University, coming up. If you're interested in that, you can let me know as well. I'll probably be formally putting that up on the website soon. But NSC, boring, you know. We had several things fire back here, fired again. NSC, out of all of them, has probably been the poorest performer out of the ones we're going to look at, but it is still trending up. Let's take a look at KSU. KSU again had an itch, and that is simply a crosshair that has fired on an intraday chart and has found confirmation on the daily chart. It's basically all that is. Very simple. But we broke out, had a nice move, had some strength with that, with my strength indicator, my crosshair, and my breakout, and we had a nice move on KSU. CSX, same thing. All of these were firing basically the same time. We had a crosshair and an itch and the strength, and that is CSX, and then UNP. UNP again had several things firing that we look for. A couple of here, one here, and another one here, and has continued to rise. Now, that's what's happened. But what are we looking at right now? Well, with all of these, particularly with UNP, KSU, CSX, we've had such a good run. Now what we're looking for is for this to settle back. Usually with one of our indicators firing, there's usually a time period that we have to wait for the next one to fire. So we're going to wait and allow the railroads to rest and possibly give us another itch or another CH79 or a crosshair, and give us another opportunity to trade it as they are continuing to rise. So let's go back, look at CSX again. Look at it, it's pulling back, doing exactly what we want it to do. Let it find some rest in here. It might take it a couple of weeks, which would be good, and then we could look at the railroads again. CSX, let's let it rest a little bit. KSU, really KSU, let it rest some. KSU and UNP in particular. Let it rest. Now out of all of them, go back to our first one. Hasn't had the huge move up, straight up, like the UNP and the CSX and the KSU. But it is consolidating, which I like to see. And we'll watch for the next possible intraday crosshair CH79, something to fire in here, as it is still finding support back from the highs in April. And if it gives us another signal, then we can go long the rails again. In the meantime, if you'd like to contact me at david@crosshairstrader.com, please do so. Also, you can sign up for my blog posts whenever I post them. You will get an alert. You can do that via Twitter, email, or RSS feed. I would love to have you join me. Again, if you have any questions or would like to inquire about any of my other services such as Crosshairs University and my soon to be released In the Crosshairs daily newsletter, please let me know. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, both on the tracks and off.